It's Drawing with Dan.
Hello. Alright, what we're going to do today is we're going to go over the basic instructions of basic sighting so that you can draw this figure on this piece of paper in proportion, and I give you the step-by-step procedure on how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is put a format on the page, which is just a frame. So I like to put a frame on everything before I start. And once you have the frame on there, I like to put the date. Today's the 10th. Okay, and I put down the name of the drawing, and this is a figure drawing. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sight this thing onto the page. We're going to image this on the page, which means I want to figure out how big I want to make it. I want to make it just fill the page, so I'm going to put a line where I want it to begin, and I'm going to put a line where I want it to end. Now I'm using a 4H pencil, which is a lighter pencil. It's got a harder graphite so it doesn't make really dark lines, because I want to be able to erase some of the sighting lines I use. I'm also going to put a line for the middle. Now I want to get the thing to fit in between this space. So I'm going to show you three things about sighting. I'm going to show you how to sight for proportion, which is using my thumb and the tip of the pencil. I move it up and down to get different sizes, and I have to have my arm extended or I'm going to get different readings of distance. So when I'm sighting for proportion, I have to extend the arm and I move the pencil up and down. I'm using the distance between my thumb and the tip of the pencil to gauge size. That's one thing I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my thumb down here, the tip of the pencil where I think the middle is between the top and here. So I'm going to go like this. I have my thumb at the bottom of the pedestal. I put the tip of the pencil where I think the middle is. Now I'm going to shift my thumb to where the tip of the pencil was. And I'm going to see if the tip of the pencil goes to the top of the figure. So I already know this, obviously, because I've done this more than a few times. I know this is the middle. So when I started, what I did was, say this is the figure here. I put my thumb down here and the tip of the pencil here. Then what I did was I moved it up like that, and I saw that it came to the top. So I knew that this was the middle. So I'm going to start with this distance from here. This distance from here to here, I'm going to use as a standard length. A standard length is simply something I use to gauge the size of things. So if I was going to measure the head, I would go like this and see how much of the standard length it was. It's about 3/4. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out how many of these I have between the middle and the bottom, so I get an idea of how big to make this. So when I put my thumb here and the tip of the pencil there, I'm going to go, I get one. I bring it down, the second one comes to here, that's where my thumb is. So I get 1, 2, I get about 3. So if I divide this half space into thirds, 1, 2, 3, I know how big to make this so that it's going to fit in between these two lines. Does that make any sense to you? Yeah? I'm asking the filmer. All right. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to sight for angle, because before I can put that in, I want to see the angle of the leg. So when I'm doing angle, I'm using the pencil as well, but it doesn't matter where the pencil is. It could be next to my eyeball, it could be next to the thing. But basically what I'm doing is I'm holding it here vertically, perpendicular to the floor, and I'm looking at the angle of the leg. So I'm holding it like this, and I can see that if I put a straight line down, that's the pencil, it's on a slight angle outward. So I'm going to put that angle in. Now I know how big it is, and I know the angle. So now I'm going to put it in. I'm drawing a little darker than I normally would because we're filming, and I want to make sure you can see this. So that's the first shape, and that's going to give me my standard length. Every time I put a line in, I'm going to see how big it is compared to that. So now I'm going to go down to the next shape. I'm going to put this little ball in. I'm just eyeballing that. It's about that big. Now I'm measuring this and comparing it to the bottom part of the leg, and I get one standard and a little bit more. So I'm going to go down a standard and a little bit more, and that's where that's going to end. I already have the angle I'm putting it on, so I can stick it in there. And that one's a little thinner than the top one. So I'm going to go like this, and that's going to give me that shape there. And it's a little rounded on the bottom, so I put a little curve there. So now I have this and this. Now I'm going to do the foot. So I put the little ball in for the foot. When I do the foot, I first have to find the angle of it. So I'm holding my pencil like this so I can see if there's an angle on the side of the foot. And when I hold my pencil up, it comes out like this. This is the dotted line from my pencil. Beep, 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 beep. And I hold my pencil up, and I can see it's on a slight angle out this way.
Now, Dan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are the noises optional?
You know, it's funny you should ask, because I was just about to say, you know, the noises are optional. I make them because I like to make them, but you don't necessarily have to. People might think you're nuts. All right, so now I'm going to measure the distance between here and here and compare that to my standard. That's the width, that's the length of the foot, and I get, it comes up, and I get, my hand's a little shaky because I'm an old guy, but this is about the length of the foot. So I'm going to go down to about here. That's going to be the end of the foot. I'm going to hold my pencil out this way, and I can see if I put a straight line down, this blows out that way, and then it turns in. So that gives me the foot. So now I have the leg and the foot. Now I want to put the pedestal in. That's this thing here. In order to do the pedestal, I need 3 points. I need a point in the back, I need a point further out, and a point in the front. Once I have those 3 points, all I have to do is connect them. And once I connect them, I can bring this down like that, and that will give me the pedestal. Okay? So I'm holding this now. This is the third part of sighting. I taught you how to sight for proportion, to get the proper length of things. I showed you how to look for angle by holding it straight up and looking at the angle of things. Now I'm going to show you how to scan. Scanning simply means that I'm looking to see where things that I haven't drawn pass things I've already drawn.
Any pile.
Yeah, you can get it?
Yes.
That's great. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for this back point where it crosses the leg. So I'm holding my pencil. It doesn't matter where I hold it, but I'm looking and I can see that it crosses the leg right here. That's the back point. So I'm going to put a little line there. And then I'm looking to see where it comes out. This is the furthest point. So it comes out from the foot right about here, and it comes out to about there. So I have 1, 2, and it comes through the front of the foot right here. So I have my 3 points, so I'm going to connect them. So I'm going to go like this. Now I'm going to go through the foot because I can erase later. So I have my 3 points. Beep, 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 beep. And then that'll come down like that, and then that'll give me that. Now I need an eraser so I can erase some of the sighting lines so you can see what I'm doing there. So give me a moment. What I'll do is I'll erase this. Okay, these inside lines so you don't get confused. Alright, and that goes like that. So now I have the first part of the leg and part of the pedestal. I'm going to go over to the second part of the leg. So now I'm going to go up here. I'm putting this ball in. This is here. There's a straight line that goes across. And then I'm looking for the distance between the two legs. I'm just going to eyeball that. It's about this far over. All right? Now I bring this over here. Now again, I'm going to use scanning. I don't have to measure anything because I can just see where these lines are in relationship to something I already drew. So I hold them up and I can see that the two legs at the top are on pretty much the same line. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to hold my pencil up now and look at the angle. Now this leg is slightly angled out. So this is going to come down straight. This is the pencil. Beep, beep, beep. Optional noises. This comes out like this. There's about this much distance between the pencil and the edge of that thing. I'm going to check it again, but yeah, that's about right. And now I'm going to bring this down like this. And this comes down like this. And then it comes out like that. That looks pretty good. Now I have another little ball here. I'm eyeballing that. Make sure that you don't make it a full circle because it's covered by the leg. The common mistake is to just draw them like this when they're actually covered on both sides and you're only seeing part of it. So you got to make sure you don't just put lines in like that. You kind of cut it off here and here. All right. Now I'm going to get the next part of the leg, so I'm going to put a little dotted line here. Beep, 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 beep. I hold my pencil up like this, and I can see that there's a distance of about to there. So that's going to give me the angle of that leg. We're filming. And now I got to cut across and see if they're on the same line at the bottom. This one's slightly longer, so I'm going to go down to about here. That's going to give me that part of the leg. So that's going to come down like that. That comes out like that. And that gives me this here, and it turns like that. And then it comes up like that. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put the other foot in. But I want to erase this little line in here for the pedestal because it's confusing a bit. Alright. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little ball here like this. I'm going to hold my pencil up again to get the angle of the foot. So I put a little line where the foot comes out, a little dotted line for the pencil. Beep, 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 beep. Hold it again, double check it. It's really just a little bit out like that, so it's going to be on an angle like that. I'm going to scan across and see that the two ends of the feet match. So they're both going to be on the same line here. The other side of it is, if I put a dotted line like that for my pencil, it comes out and bows out a little bit. So it's going to go like that. And that's going to give me that foot. So now I have both legs, both feet, and I'm going to finish the pedestal. The pedestal comes out, I'm measuring from the leg to the edge of the pedestal, it comes out about this much of the standard. So I'm going to go out to about here. I know it's back here and it crosses right in here. So I have the other part of the pedestal now. So I bring it around like this. Cuts in there. Then I can bring this down like that. And then I can cut across like this. And then I have both legs and I have the pedestal. I'm going to kind of clean it up a little bit. Comes down like that. This comes across. Comes up. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put the other ball in like that, and then I'll put this. There's a line that comes in. I'm going to erase a lot of these sighting lines now because they're kind of confusing and make it look messy. I wouldn't really put all these heavy sighting lines in. If I wasn't doing a demo, I'd do them very lightly so you wouldn't see them. But I need to show them a little better. Now, this little stick goes from here to there. So I'm going to put a little line here. This is where it ends. And it starts in the middle here. So I got to connect those two things. So I'm going to bring this down. Like this. And then that's going to come and that's going to give me the stick. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Alright, now I'll go in and I'll erase some of the sighting lines in there. Now when I'm all done, I'll go in and I'll look at it again and I'll clean it up a bit. But I'm getting all the proportions in. Now I need to draw this thing here. So I'm going to draw the distance between here and here. So I'm going to go like this and I'm going to bring it down to here. And I see that it comes to about here on the standard, which is a little more than half. So it's going to be about that big. So I'm going to go up to about here. I can always check it if I don't see it. So yeah, maybe a little longer. This, if you sight across, you can see it's on a slight oval. So I'm going to figure out where this comes. See this point here? I'm going to sight down and see where it crosses the leg. So I know the angle to put it in. It crosses about there. So it starts here, and it's going to come up to about there. Then it's going to come in like this. It's going to start over here, and it's going to end about, let's hold this up here, and this is going to end about there. So that's going to come down like that.
We only have 2 more minutes left.
Okay, I'm going to stop now. We'll finish the rest of it next time because the class is ending. So we'll edit this out.